Yeah, my name is Ian Wood. I looked after all of our business practices, which is a specialist function in Veritas across Europe, Middle East and Africa.
Okay. So, when you talk about the year 2019, like everybody has been talking about this year as a year of transformation.
Yeah.
So from a business practice point of view, like how do you see the entire market transforming?
It's absolutely happening. I think some of my discussions that I've had with most customers is it feels like they're in the middle of the transformation rather than at the start of the transformation, which is a big shift. So I think we could see it right here in GITEX. All the customers are literally transforming their businesses, and they're struggling with typical things like culture, technology, and all the different enablers to keep up with the business. So we deal a lot with IT staff, and I think the IT individuals and senior execs in the IT are really struggling to keep up to pace of where the business is transforming. So it's a big, big topic.
And like if you see from a company point of view, like a few decades, a few years back, data management, like was not on the priority list of many CIOs and end customers. But now it's like one of the top 3 priority lists. So like how has Veritas been able to bring a wave of change?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think data management's always been important to a CIO, but like you say, perhaps more something that they just expect to happen. And I think what I see again, back to that disconnect to the business is expecting that data is going to be monetized, data is going to give them that competitive edge, data is going to transform their business. They expect it to always be available, always protected, and always give the right answers when it needs to. That's what the business expects. But for the CIOs, data management has come right to the top because they need to make sure that that delivers on the promise to those businesses. And it's not easy. It's not easy to make sure that businesses can thrive for data. So I think that's why it's raising to the top of the priority list, because data is, I think the cliche, the oil of the 21st century is data. So you need to make sure that you deal with it responsibly and it provides the value back to the business.
That brings us to the most interesting part, the data bug report.
Yes.
Like we all have been talking about it. So, like based on your experience, like how this entire survey started and what kind of critical findings can we see in that report? Yeah,
this is the 3rd Databerg survey we've done in this region specifically, and it is actually a global report, something that we started out in the UK 4 or 5 years ago. And ultimately what we wanted to do is survey all our IT professionals in the larger organizations, so that's 500 users and above, and really just understand how they're dealing with data management. As data is the oil of the 21st century, certainly management is key. And so what our survey revealed, in fact we stumbled upon the Databerg in our survey, was quite alarming. Most customers, most organizations struggle to understand where the data is and what the data is, and that we call the dark data. And it's similar to the composition of an iceberg. What you see above the water is your clean data, and what you can't see below the water is the dark data, and that's the composition of the Databerg. And the findings we found globally, and consistent to UAE, consistent to all of the regions around the world, is that a majority of their data is actually dark. Which is quite alarming. and dark data, in essence, is the data that you're not classifying. You don't actually know what the value is. You don't understand if that is very, very valuable data, if that's super sensitive data, or in fact that's the menu for the canteen a year ago. And so you have to, and that 47% is what we discovered recently now in the UAE. It's starting to shift, which is good. It's getting slightly better. But there's still a lot of work to be done to unhide that dark data and make it clean data.
So, for the audience, if you could highlight the top 3 pain points or the top 3 challenges that you found in the report, what would those top 3 be?
Yeah, I think as I said, the Databerg one was one that they, number one, they lack of visibility to all their data assets. And I think that was the biggest thing that we've revealed in the Databerg report. The second thing is a big link to ransomware. Ransomware is such a big topic for any customer right now. It feels like a ransomware infection is inevitable. And as much as you try and protect against it, it feels like it's inevitable. And ultimately with ransomware, I think that part of that finding with ransomware is that only 45% of the 45% of the surveyed customers in the UAE really are not ready to recover and have all the systems in place to recover from a ransomware attack in a timely manner. and that's quite alarming. So the second thing besides visibility of data was ransomware. And then the third area is really around the complexity of IT management, and it reveals itself in the lack of visibility. It reveals itself in the lack of having a good handle on all your infrastructure components. And there's a strong link to cloud, whether that's hybrid cloud, multi-cloud, public cloud or private cloud. As organizations are shifting to cloud to get more agility and reduce cost, they have the complexity that they have to manage before they can get there. And I see in the regions stark differences between how clouds are being adopted.
Okay, so like as a closing note, like
Yeah.
what would be the one Veritas advice or tip, like that you would give the enterprises, how carefully should they manage their data?
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Very briefly, number one, get visibility to data. What you can't see, you can't manage. So use technologies, Veritas can help with that, to provide insights to where your data resides so you can make informed decisions. Number two, get a control of that data. Actively get a culture that data is valuable, delete the rubbish data, make sure that you classify the data and treat it responsibly. And number three, make sure that you're ready to embrace the hybrid cloud, because that's going to be where you can reduce cost and get that agility to the business.
Well, Ian, thank you so much for
Sure.
being with us here today. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for your time.